Hey guys, look what I got. That's right, I got the Syma X8HG camera drone from GearBest and Syma, and it has a ton of cool features, including a hover function. So, I'm going to quit talking, we're going to open up the box, and we're going to see what's going on inside. Alright guys, this is what comes on this side of the box. We've got our user's manual. We've got the quadcopter, or at least the chassis of the quadcopter, and here we've got our power supply for the charger. And this is the other side with the remaining items. We've got our high quality HD camera here, we've got our charger, we've got our battery, we've got two sets of props, and underneath each set of props is two legs, and we've got some hardware here, some hardware down there, SD card reader, and we've got our radio right here. So now I'm going to take everything out and we're going to look at it. Alright guys, here is everything that comes inside the box, laid out for you so you can see everything with an unobstructed view. The first thing that we are going to take a look at is the camera. This camera is new, at least new to me, but I do believe to this product line as well. It's kind of cool. It's got a little slide-in clip to the underside of the chassis, and it is powered by the radio via this cable. It's also got a setting for 720 or 1080p, and it's got a micro SD card that comes with it. Here's a look at the lens. Looks pretty much like my Runcam 2 / GoPro, kind of somewhere in the middle size-wise. It's probably going to have some pretty nice video. I cannot wait to test that out. And this cable plugs in right in there. So that connects to the underside of the chassis, and you drive everything, as far as this goes, on the radio. So you get the power supply from the battery back there. You get the radio inputs to go on and off, do video or take pictures, whatever you want to do. That's how it works. Here is the radio for this red beast. Alright, so I'm going to start up here and work my way down. Here we've got our high and low rate setting, and the way you know if it's high or low rates, that's high rates, and it'll go a little bit faster, have a little bit more pitch when it's flying. Low rates, it'll be a little bit more steady, more beginner friendly. Not that this is beginner friendly, but that's the better approach to it. And hell, it might be a beginner friendly quadcopter with the altitude hold, which is what I'm going to get to next. This has the throttle stick centered. I've got another Syma quadcopter that has the same feature, and it actually is remarkably easy. I helped my girlfriend fly it not that long ago, and she had a lot of fun, didn't feel overwhelmed. So the altitude hold can make it easier for a beginner to fly something, although this thing is big and powerful, so for that reason I caution the beginner folks a little bit on it. Maybe a second quadcopter after you've gotten kind of used to orientation and your directions. The other thing with the altitude hold, the throttle function is a little bit different. You've got to hold the sticks in to turn the props on, and once you're flying around, blah blah blah, you've got to do the same thing once it's on the ground, or you just hold it down for 2 or 3 seconds and then the props will shut off. That can make the landings a little bit more complicated, which is why I caution this being for beginners. So if you're an experienced RC pilot, this should be no problem for you. Beginners might not be the perfect thing. One thing that'll be great for everybody is the flip function. So what you do is you're in the air flying around, push the flip button, move this stick any one of the 4 directions, and the quadcopter will flip that direction. I have a black version of the X8C Venture, or the X8C Venture rather, and it does great flips. It's incredibly stable, so I'm really excited about this, especially with that new camera on it. Alright, so here is a look at the chassis. This is a really beautiful, dark, rich, almost Valentine's Day red, metallic red if you will. Here is where the battery goes. And you've got your plug there. This is a 2S battery, 2000 milliamp hour battery, so you get nice long flights and plenty of power if it's anything like the X8C Venture, which I think it will be. These lights, again going back to the Venture, that one is an excellent night flyer. So with the altitude hold and the lights, it should make for some excellent night flying. And under here is where this goes. This just slides right on in there, like so. And then, all you gotta do, plug that in there, turn that on, and there you go. That's how the connection is made. And now, I am going to put the props on this thing, the legs, and the prop guards, and we are going to see how this thing works. Alright guys, this is what it looks like all put together. The build was very straightforward and simple, which I like a lot. And here's a closer look at things, including the camera. Speaking of the camera, I noticed that this has some anti-vibration built into it. There's a little bit of flex within this mechanism right in there, which will help reduce jello, which is a very, very good thing. The one potential con, which I actually think is a positive, that way you don't get pointed a direction that you don't want it to be. This is really only positioned perpendicular with the ground so you see the landscape, the horizon rather. I think that's okay. In fact, to me that's the best position to have a camera in. And along with the anti-vibration, anti-jello control, this thing should take some really nice video. So now we are going to give this a quick indoor test flight, and until the weather calms down enough so we can fly it outside, get some awesome video, and do some flip testing, all the stuff that we want to do. But for now, we're going to do just a quick indoor flight test. Alright guys, here we go with our maiden flight. I have not tested this off camera or anything, so this is the raw, real deal right here. So we're going to try and put these in there. Wow, that was nice and easy. Now let's see how it goes. I'll try and stay close to the camera so you can hear me, because this thing is not quiet. We'll see how it goes with our maiden indoor flight. Yeah, this thing is a beauty. The altitude hold is working quite nicely. In fact, it's working great. This thing is a very, very stable platform, guys. it's just holding that throttle stick down until it sits down nicely. That thing was remarkably, I'm not sure you could hear what I was saying because this is very loud, especially in a very confined space like this. But the altitude hold worked phenomenal. It's got a barometer built in. That way it holds the altitude nicely. And that was much, much easier on the nerves than flying my black X8C Venture. Also, what you'll notice if you want to turn on the camera to record video with this, push that down, and you'll see the lights flashing over there. In fact, we're going to do a quick little darkness test. That's how it is completely dark. And as you can see, this thing is nice and bright. I'll shut that off there by pushing the button down again. And like I said, you can see this thing illuminates everything. And that is what's going to make this a fantastic night flyer, just like the X8C Venture. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that flight footage, as well as checking this thing out in the dark. What I'm going to do now is do a quick wrap up with some pros and cons. This thing overall, I loved it, and we're going to start with the pros because of that. The altitude hold is fantastic. It made me comfortable flying in this very confined space, and it is also very stable. Something this big and powerful with all the air currents that those big props provide, even with all that extra air blowing around, it was rock solid. Another big pro for me was the color. In person, I'm not sure how it translates through the camera, but in person it is beautiful. Alright, and next thing is the high quality camera. I didn't show any of the footage in this video, but even with poor lighting, the camera quality was pretty cool. It'll really be telling when we've got all that nice illumination outside. I didn't want to show the camera footage in this because frankly no one is going to fly it indoors and try and take video with it. You're going to want to do that outside, so that's why I'm going to leave it for that video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. That way you can check that out because that will be coming soon. Another pro is the anti-vibration camera mount. That will be fantastic. Indoors it was, outdoors probably even more so. Has 2S battery power and a pretty big pack, so the flight time should be great. And it has excellent lights, as I just demonstrated a short time ago. On the cons side of things, it has loud brushed motors and brushed motors. I prefer brushless to be even smoother and even more stable, but even though they are brushed, they're very nice brushed motors. And the yaw rate is kind of slow, just like the black one, just like the X8C Venture. But that's okay. This thing is made for photography first and foremost, so that's not really a con, but those are only two things I could find negative about this. So without taking it outside and flying it out in a different environment than here, I am very impressed, guys. So I'm going to wrap this up here. Like, comment, and subscribe. And GBLynden out.